what you done with LinkedIn?
Sure, if Dan can show me how to do that.
Yeah,
Oh, you don't
sure.
have to share it. There's share.
Oh,
Welcome everyone to this week's Azure and AI Show. With me at the moment is Dan Ray in Chicago, and we have Larry with us also. Larry is a student ambassador, and you were in LinkedIn. Dan, were you doing some stuff with LinkedIn in Chicago?
Yeah, we've been doing some stuff with LinkedIn in Chicago. Larry can talk about that. We had several people over from their office.
Cool. So they were over with you, is it, and you gave them a tour around?
Go ahead and tell them about
that. Yeah, while I was shadowing Dan, we were walk around the Dallas headquarters, check around the place. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Definitely good security. Cameras everywhere. The elevators were pretty nice. Instead of just clicking the up and down arrows for elevators, you just click the floor, and then it will tell you which elevator to take, and that will take you to that floor. So not just constantly having to wait, and then if someone also is trying to use the elevator, you have to also keep going up or down of it as well. And since it's also in the city, it's pretty easy to just walk around and get your bike fixed. We have food, for opportunities. Yeah.
You remember where the LinkedIn office is? It's like maybe a mile from that.
I think so.
You remember the people that came? Kathy?
Oh, right. Yeah, Kathy worked at the IT desk.
No, she works for LinkedIn.
Oh.
Yeah. So we had, how many over? Was it 5 or 6? Remember?
Probably 5.
Yeah. So my contact at LinkedIn brought like 5 or 6 other people with her to McDonald's. So we returned the favor, Frank.
Yeah. The LinkedIn office in Dublin fed us well when we were there. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, that was fun. Jack ended up at Google, and he said if you ever want to go to Google, he can give us the same kind of tour. I guess they have food too.
The Google office in Dublin. Yeah.
Yeah. He left LinkedIn. I don't remember when, but last time I talked to him, he was at Google, and he said, "Yeah, we have lunch too. So if you're ever back in Dublin, I'll put you in touch with him."
Yeah, maybe around the time we go for the MCT summit in Dublin, May 2027.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. That would be awesome.
Yeah, so there'll be some cool stuff there at that tour of the Guinness brewery as well. Sample some Guinness.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
They have pickleball in Dublin too.
Oh, that's right. You went there the last time. You met up with a few people. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like an evening. It might have been north of Dublin, but I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes in a car. And then it was in like a gymnasium. So they just converted like the badminton and or basketball courts to pickleball for the evening. And there were lots of different age groups and people learning and people that were experienced. It was a lot of fun.
Cool. Were you talking to Bill after the MCT summit? Oh, sure, he was going on to. I think he was going on to Italy after the MCT summit.
Yeah, he might still be there. He sent me a picture from McDonald's Italy and showed me all the cool stuff they have on their menus.
Cool.
Yeah, I was super jealous.
Yeah. So it was amazing that Ralph and the organizers of the MCT summit in Sarajevo. Like, it was really run well, you know. It was, and we had dinner every evening, like, you know, on the, so everyone met up for dinner. It was great. Some great sessions as well. New speakers.
That's great. You spoke too, right?
Yeah, I done kind of learning with Copilot and Copilot Studio, and
Okay.
so one of the things I done was, do you remember the Microsoft Forms? So what I done
Yeah.
was, I kind of got brought up the Microsoft Forms and asked it to give me some sample questions from the AI 900 exam. So
Cool.
it gave me up those, and I got Sarah Fennan to use her phone in the audience,
That's
and
awesome.
she done it on her phone then. So when she done the QR code, the exam questions came onto her phone, and I just got her to answer them. I said, Sarah, look, you don't need to get them all correct, just do it for the demo. So she hit all the answers, and then hit send, came back to me in my email, and I was able to review them. So I got Excel to kind of review the questions, and you know, so that was kind of one part of the demo. The other part then was Copilot Studio, you know, make an agent, and you know, ask questions of the agent about, it was a AI 900 agent for an exam buddy
Cool.
for the AI 900. So it was able to give you exam questions and stuff like that. Then I kind of put it out to the audience. Do you want to ask any questions of the agent? So one of the lads said, can you ask the agent, does the agent have any certifications? So, okay, this is kind of stuff to be asking AI if you want to see what silly answers it comes back with, you know? So I entered his question into the agent, and I asked the agent, do you have any Microsoft certifications? And the agent replied back, no, I don't have. I am not a human, so I do not need any certifications. Yeah.
That's funny.
So, yeah, it's kind of some funny questions you can
I
ask
wonder if
these
you can
agents.
program it with a sense of humor.
Yeah. I just left everything as default, and it just kind of came back with that. But it just kind of gave a load of stuff about different Microsoft certifications then underneath it, you know. So
That's cool.
that was good. There's a few people in the chat that actually, some is thinking that we're AI, are they? That oh yeah, she sees my AI, Azure and AI over my head for the studio.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us, and we've got somebody else here and saying aloha, wherever they're from. Okay.
So HOLA, Frank?
HOLA, yeah.
Yeah, that's hola. That's Spanish. So we may have somebody from either the Microsoft Speakers Hub that saw the Spanish posts, or they might be somebody from Gabriel's community. He's building the Microsoft Speakers Hub in Espanol.
Okay.
Yeah. They've
So
got
that,
over, I think it was 500. It was either 300 or 500, maybe 300 people already.
yeah, I see the numbers kind of gone up to about 4,000. Yeah.
Yeah, 4,000 for Microsoft Speakers Hub, but I think Microsoft Speakers Hub in Espanol is either over 300 or over 500. I don't recall the number offhand, but it's
So
growing pretty quick.
yeah, so there's a separate section in there, is there, in the speakers up for that?
So we added some posts that are in Spanish to the Microsoft Speakers Hub. And then Gabriel from Madrid, I don't know if he was in Sarajevo, but he wanted to build his own company page, similar to how you have the Azure and AI Show page, and we have the Microsoft Speakers Hub page, and Prathap has the innovation tech community. There's all these different, like, kind of, I guess, related pages. Gabriel started a separate page for just, solamente español. Hablar un poquito español, pero Gabriel hablas español y inglés. So he wanted to start a page where they could do like events in Spanish, posts in Spanish, and give the Spanish speaking community a page where they manage like the admins and the about is in Spanish as opposed to English and Spanish or various languages. We have Ayaka that speaks Japanese. We have I think it's Lean or Lynn. She's from Netherlands and she speaks Dutch. So we have at least Dutch, English, Spanish, and Japanese now within the Microsoft Speakers Hub. And then that Microsoft Speakers Hub Espanol is like a Spanish first, if you will, version.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So at the MCT Summit, we had 17 different countries.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, good lot of Dutch and German.
Yeah, I was going to say Amelia's in Austria, right?
Which one? Sorry.
Amelia? I think Amelia's in Austria, and she used to live in Spain.
Yeah, she's in Austria now. She was at it.
Yeah.
She gave
That's
us.
so cool.
Yeah. Really nice to meet them at it. Yeah, that was great.
I'm jealous. We haven't met in person yet.
Yeah, it was funny, all right, because I met Bill, and he said, here we got Amy there. How you doing, Amy?
Hi. I saw you on the show, so I said I'll join.
Oh, very
Thanks for
good.
coming on.
You're doing the co-pilot stuff, I see. Or sorry, co-worker. You had myself and Dan. Yeah.
Have you tried it already?
No. I was waiting for you to give us a demonstration.
Oh, okay. Actually, I think it's blocked for you Europe and UK. So
is it? Yeah. How did you do those certification things? Were they part of co-worker?
Yeah, they were quite easy. Took maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes each. But I actually just tried all kinds of things. Did you see what's nice is in the co-work you can ask all kinds of questions about, or ask to organize your mail or ask for a market research of your competitors. But what I did is you can actually also create a skill. Okay, so a skill is like a set of instructions, and then you want to ask the co-work to create the skill based on your requirements. You can just call it, and then instead of typing it all, it's like an agent actually. So I asked to create a skill of let's say a certificate of viewing my YouTube channel, and the skill was just to build it, the template, And then I told it each time I will enter a different name, and then it will insert the name into the template of the certification. So I think in LinkedIn, I put a picture of you, or not of you, of the certification with your name. Um, but it's very cool. I think um, I did a example where I defined myself a minutes of meeting structure, um, and actually then I could call any meeting or upload a transcript, and then it would create it automatically in the structure I want. And you can also tell it to schedule it. Okay, you can say every day at 8 o'clock send it. And out of the data also that you upload, you can in parallel ask to create a PowerPoint, a Word document, an Excel, and even a HTML dashboard. So all of that, and you don't need to wait until the prompt ends. You just put it and then it queues up, and then you just let it work. So that it's really, I recommend you to use it. Ah, yeah, this is funny. Yeah, this is actually, I went to, I think, GPT. I chose an image and I said, create a, yeah, newspaper post. So it just took my picture, took my information, and it looks real, but yeah, but it's AI generated.
Yeah, I
I,
didn't think you that made the times, but
yeah, yes, but
yeah, but what an achievement anyway. 1.5 million views, and you're just getting started.
well, I'm nearly 1.6 actually, but
Wow.
really, yeah, but the views doesn't count. I mean, it doesn't matter that much to me because for me it's more important the content, and sharing is caring, and yeah. Uh,
Was it under
and
the?
yeah, actually, yeah, I think yesterday was the day where new MVPs have been announced.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
Frank,
course.
have you already submitted your contributions
I,
for?
I did. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I also did that. Yeah, so we just need to wait. What about you, Dan?
I've already submitted, but I need to unlock it and update it already because there have been several things since I submitted it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be changing next year, isn't it? They're going to have a new portal or something.
Yeah, I don't know how much of that is public. The summit is always interesting because you have to try to remember what you can talk about publicly and what you can't.
Okay, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'll leave it simple. There's going to be changes next year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the same,
By the way,
the same with
no, I just
the.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead, Amy.
We were talking about the co-work, and currently it's like for free, but no one knows if there will be any pricing model later on. So um, if people are starting to learn and use it, and all of a sudden the model will change, then that might affect. Um, Another thing that just went to GA is the Agent 365 that is supposed to be officially published.
Okay,
And
so is that a chat version then of the agent?
no, Agent 365 is an administration tool which exists actually in the frontier, where you can see all of their agents in the whole tenant as admin, and and it's supposed to give a capability to follow and track all kinds of things. Actually, if you heard about the E7 license, so you will need to pay for this Agent 365, which is a tool for administration, to um, see to manage your agents. Yeah, if you go to your admin, I could show you. But what's nice there is they have a new section I noticed this morning, which is called AI Shadow. Okay, just like
Okay.
Shadow IT. So there's a
Yeah.
section where you can, yeah. Um, Another thing is, have you tested the researcher um, models where you can use either Claude or GPT or even a console which shows side by side which how each model gives? Have you tested it? That's a cool
Do I
in a
have to use that in Copilot Studio?
no in the chat. I mean the
Okay.
researcher in the
Oh
chat.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And the other agents.
Don't you have? It looks like you have a basic license.
Let me see.
Is this does this have Copilot? Is this a
Yes.
basic or?
Oh, this is the basic one. I'll just sign in with my tenant. Here we go.
So if you go
Researcher.
to the researcher, by default, look at the models first of all, and the first thing is you can see it gives you some explore ready-made prompts below. Can you see that? All of these were not existing.
Yeah, they're
So these,
different. Yeah.
and if you go to the models on top, why don't you see the models? That's strange.
Where do I have to go in there?
It doesn't appear. Oh, maybe because you're in.
In
It
the
needs
EU,
the cloud, right?
it needs
So
cloud.
you don't have the cloud.
So how do I enable
Yeah,
cloud?
yeah. So wait, uh,
I go.
you need to go to the admin center. So go to the admin center, and you're doing it on your dummy, on your sandbox. Yes. So it's not
Um,
a corporate one.
that one is
I mean, if it's a sandbox, then you can do it. If it's a corporate one, then you should check with your.
yeah.
Uh,
This is my tenant.
yeah. So you want to go to the Copilot um menu to settings, and under View All, go to look for sub. Just do something sub. Yes. So you need to activate this Anthropic um, models.
It's disabled by default.
Yes, it's disabled by default because of because you're in the EU. But you can activate it for you, and you can decide if it's for all users or no users or specific ones. So save it. And by the way, there's another setting called Flex, which is only for the EU. That actually, um, what happens is in case of high demand, then the data goes, let's say, to US or something like that. But now if you go, let's say to the researcher or other places that where Claude would be, let's say Excel.
Okay, so
Here,
you can
you
see
see
up the
now.
top. Yeah.
No, but if you go to the models on the right, you see the auto. So you see the auto, you see the console,
Claude.
and you see GPT and Claude. The auto means, as you can see below so it takes the response using Claude, takes the response from GPT, and Claude checks, refines the answer. Can you see that? It's
Yeah,
written just
in this
no,
one,
no, no.
the
When you
auto.
choose the first one, you can see under the logo researcher, it says auto GPT response
Yeah,
and refine. So this uses two models, one for getting the response and one for checking.
yeah.
The
So
other one, yeah, the other one, if you choose from the drop down of the auto, is the console. And what it does is when you ask the prompt, it starts side by side giving you what each model gives you separately. And then it also at the end shows you the difference between what each model gives you. So that's interesting.
yeah, that's definitely interesting. Yeah.
So now that you activated the Claude, you will see it probably also in Excel and even in the chat. If you go to the chat now, you might see it also for the regular chat. Can you go to the, yeah, here you don't see Claude yet, but you notice that you can see actually additional models of GPT under the drop down. Click on that and click on GPT in the bottom. And 5.5 is actually the latest one, which was released a couple of days in GPT.
Okay.
So, yeah.
There's some great updates there, Amy.
And if you go, for instance, to Excel, you will see also other things. Are you familiar with the Office agents, Excel, Word, and PowerPoint from the?
Yeah, so I know in Excel, the agent mode changed.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's 3 agents that are called Excel, Word, and PowerPoint, which are different. But
From
go into the Excel itself. And if you click on a Copilot, you should see also it's no longer called Edit in Copilot. It should be called Edit, Allow
with
Editing, or do you see that? Allow Editing.
Edit with
And
Copilot.
yeah, but below you can see that there's Allow Editing or only chat. So Allow Editing allows you to change something, and the chat only gives you to ask information. But
Yeah,
if you click on the auto model on top, look how many you have. Opus 4.6, you have GPT 5.5, Opus 4.7. So there's lots of
experimenting to do with that.
yeah.
Yeah,
So there's
and it's in Word as well. This particular
not sure, but click on the tools there. Can you go to the tools? No,
tool.
there's a tool in a Copilot.
Where are
Just
we at?
where the plus is.
Um,
In the chat, there's a plus.
yeah, I see it.
So near it, there's a tool icon. Just beside, yeah. Click on it.
So it's got Python, work, and web.
It is, but it's but yeah, there's lots of things.
Lots of changes, definitely, yeah. So just 1 second. Did we get somebody else joining us?
But do you know the Office apps, Office agents from the chat? That's something also interesting. Here you.
And there was Amelia. Hello, everyone. Glad to see you. Go, Amy, go. Stephen, can you hear me there? Stephen, are you have you something for us this week? You can't hear us. Can you hear me there, Stephen?
Yeah.
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 So,
Can you hear me?
Some great stuff there with Claude and all the different models. ChatGPT 5.5 is out.
Okay.
He's done some good stuff there with Co-worker during the week.
Yeah. So is it possible to enable that? Can you use that with developer tenant? I'm not sure.
Yes.
That's good.
So have you something for us this week, did you say?
In the development. It's if you're in the frontier, you should see it.
Okay.
So I'll just share my screen again there, Amy, and
okay.
We can see if it should be in my one. Share. You see my screen there, yeah?
Yep.
So it's in the frontier, is it?
What? The model? What's the question?
Yeah, so Stephen was talking about the developer one.
Yeah, that's what I got.
You mean the Copilot Studio? By the way, if you go to Copilot Studio, you should see now the models of Anthropic as well.
Okay.
So go to one of the agents you have, or create a new one, and choose go to the knowledge resource. You should see also models that you activated.
Okay, just 1 second there. I think somebody else might have joined us. Yeah. Here we go.
So if you go to knowledge, here you have a drop down. So look at the drop down.
Yeah, there we go.
So you see here the Claude, and I don't know if 5.5 is here, but at least the Claude models are here because you're activated. Yeah, for GPT, there's it's preview most of them. Yeah, it's hard to believe we started with GPT-4, and then I remember we had a button try GPT-5, and now we're so.
Yeah, I think technology is moving fast anyway. So, yeah.
A couple of days after it's released on. Actually, Frank, if you activated now the Claude model on the Tropic, you should also see the co-work now, actually.
And
So
this
if you
one
go to
here?
the no, if you go to the chat now.
Okay.
And go to all agents. Scroll down to all agents. And just search for co-work. Yes, you have it.
Okay.
Now you can start playing with it.
Yeah. So I just have to add it here, yeah?
Yes, and now you have another tool to.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't see
So
it on my.
You have to have a.
First of all, you need to be in the frontier. Second of all, you need to have.
Okay. Do I need to add is it the workflow frontier? I need to add that, yeah.
Yeah, do you see my license here is M365 Copilot Premium?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And now if you look
Yeah,
to the models, you can see it works only on Claude. So 4.6 and 4.7.
yeah, my showing those basic.
No, it won't. No, you need a premium, and you need to have the Anthropic activated, the frontier. And here there's all kinds of examples of prompts that you can do if you want to. Here's Dan.
Hey.
Hey Dan, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, it's been a while. Did you travel?
It's been good. This is Larry.
Hello. Oh, Larry,
Hi.
how you doing? Nice to meet you. Hi.
So this is the future, by the way.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You can do so many things, and the idea is really that you can put things in parallel, so you can and it can generate all kinds of documents in parallel. And if you want, there's also a lab that was it's a good lab that not too complicated, that somebody from Microsoft, her name is April. Do you know? You probably heard of April from.
Yeah. What she's in one of the product groups.
April.
Yeah, you remember for Copilot Studio, she created a lab. So there's now one for co-work, which is actually also in a GitHub or in the Git site, and then you can do it. There's 3 labs, which are quite interesting. But any of these that you click here will write a prompt, and we'll start doing something. So let's say click on a research company.
And then he's putting out.
So you see what it's doing in the prompt. It's
portrait video here.
Going to get information about the company, and then it's telling to create. I think it's a Word or a PowerPoint, and also actually describing what it's going to do. A short summary, and then 3 paragraphs of the company use. So it's going to create based on one information, multiple things and applications. It uses ready-made skills that exist, like Excel, Word, PowerPoint, but you can also create your own skill. So run it and see what's going to be the outcome.
Okay, so do I need to name a company, or is it just using Microsoft?
Yeah, you can see it uses Microsoft in this case,
Okay,
but you can adjust it.
An example,
Yeah.
Microsoft, yeah. So if I run that.
Yeah, I created a couple of videos about that, so you can
Okay,
also
we'll
check
have to
them.
have a look at them.
Yeah, so you can run it and then go away. You don't need to wait. The whole concept, by the way, of co-work in Anthropic was they developed one which is actually works on local content. Here, Microsoft took the same solution and put it on the web. Okay, so it's asking information, so you can. And the idea is you can during its thinking, you can type a new prompt, so it will just do things in parallel. I don't know why it's.
You find these different
it's asking for the ticker.
If you look to the right, there's a panel on the right where you can show
either him,
and then you will see how it breaks the process. So if you click on the process, yeah. So currently it's not doing anything, but
yeah. So it's asking me for the ticker of the company, like say here.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll put
but
that
I think,
in here.
Yeah.
One person that I'm following that's following him.
But what you can do in parallel is, let's say, tell him, create me a dashboard, HTML dashboard. Just type it. No, type it in the prompt.
Probably more like.
Okay, so what do we want?
Create a HTML dashboard of. Yeah.
More unique their name, the easier it is to figure out if they are the same person.
But you notice what it's doing on the side is, first of all, getting the information. Then it's going to create a 2-page Word cover, and then it will create a summary, and it will create a spreadsheet with 5 tabs. You notice it's using now the skill of deep research, but it's now you can go out and just do something else. The whole idea is that you during the time it's working.
Yeah.
And if he connects, I'll remember why I connected.
Okay, there's a private chat. I am having this pop-up message. In a second, we'll try and add him again.
And for instance, you could, let's say, type and say, okay, schedule this prompt to run every day at 8 o'clock and send me the information to my mail, for instance. So you can even add it. So, or just write in parallel, send me all of the documents to my mail. And it will do that. So, or you can even say, send it to my team channel or something, but just to see what capabilities you can do here.
So does it have like the capability to encrypt? Right? If you want him to encrypt the emails to send it, can you do that?
I don't know, but maybe it's possible. It has a skill.
Yeah.
If you want to see the skills, go. If you can click on the Copilot breadcrumb on the left.
Which one?
Yeah, the main Copilot breadcrumb, not that, to the right. No, where it says Copilot with the icon.
Oh, yeah, here.
No, that thing, click on it. So if you click on the plus and add work content, so one of the things you can add is a skill. So if you click on the skill tab, So these are the ready-made skills that you can use, schedule, communicate. But the skill management actually lets you create your own skill. So let's say choose the skill management and create a skill. Let's you need to think what it's something that set of instructions that will you could just call it and then it will do it yeah as an agent. Okay, so
right. So it's skill maybe an exam buddy for the AI 900, something like
yeah,
that.
create a skill that creates questions or writes questions for the exam. And then you could say also what you want, if this, how often do you want to get it, or let's say you want to, you know what? Let's make a skill that goes to the internet and provides the latest updates of the last week in Copilot, yeah, or something like that, and then you can just say run it. But okay, write questions for AI. Okay.
AI 900, right. So that one is actually going away. And wait a while now, and send it to my email.
Yeah. How often? You can also say how often.
Yeah, we'll just leave it for once, just because I
Okay,
don't want
yeah.
to get one in every day.
Yeah. So it will create a skill MD file, which is actually the format that is the skills are stored, and then you can actually call the skill, and you'll soon see. Okay, it's asking some questions.
So 10 multiple choice with answers, 5 questions answer. So we'll just go with this one here just to see.
Okay. And by the way, it can also go to internal resources. Okay, SharePoint, Teams, OneDrive, everything.
Yeah, so we'll kind of this first one.
Okay.
So I'm just checking to see one of the guys is trying to get in at this stage.
Free because you don't have an account yet. Then you do your email, and I'll send your email a code to log in. There's no passwords for this site.
So I remove that one. And I'll just go back. Okay, so
if it's written the skill, or these are actually the questions, I'm not sure.
So this is the breakdown of the exam. So it's kind of describe AI workloads in consideration. So you get 15 or 20% for the exam. So it's kind of done something different than actually exam questions.
Yeah, this is no, but this okay, yeah.
So it's done the breakdown of the exam. It's telling about guardrails and stuff like that. So
it's
yeah.
It's asking you if you want to write it as is or just change it. So you can adjust it afterwards later. So just say
Okay, go with this.
Go ahead. Just say go ahead, yeah.
Hiya, Harman. Can you hear me? you were having trouble getting in there. Can you hear me now? He's gone again. Is he? No. Thiemann, can you hear me?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were just doing some trials with the new co-worker.
It's co-work.
Co-work. There's no ER, sorry.
No, yeah. But
yeah. So here we are.
So now the skill is created, and if next time you write the chat, you can say, does it say? So the name of the skill is Skill Quality Report, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And that means it should be in the list, and it's actually stored in your OneDrive under Documents. Yeah, but you can see on the right where the output. You can see where the output.
Yeah.
So you can see where is it stored. But you can call this skill. So if you go to the plus in the chat and just call it, so it will run it.
Call the skill.
No, you don't need to type call. You just need to go to the plus, add work content, go to skill. It should be added here, or you can actually type it. So go to the bottom. It's not there yet. But if you just write skill quality report. Actually, it's a HTML. I don't know why. But
yeah, so we can click on it here. Look, yeah.
It should be an MD file. Yeah. But it created a presentation or some kind of a dashboard for you.
Yeah. That's cool. So to see there now if Eamon, can you hear me there?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So do you want to try and share your screen?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. Amy, thanks very much. That was brilliant. We hope to do some more stuff with you going forward.
Okay. Goodbye. Thank you.
When you hit the 2 million mark. Okay. Can you see the present screen there on the bottom?
Yeah, where you have the plus sign.
There we go. Here we can see it there now. The glass box on Azure, real time. Yeah.
All right, let me introduce myself first to the folks here. I'm Hemant Kumar Bargu. I'm working with fan-based companies at the moment. Prior to that, I worked with the Goldman Sachs. I do have experience of working on this field for almost like 8 years now. Now, the reason I'm presenting this one is to talk about, from my experience, what I've faced, the gaps in my day-to-day working environment. So here, there's one consistent gap which stand out as a trading system has an advance and transparency in valuations, and the P&L hasn't kept pace, largely due to fragmented data and batch-driven architectures. So this presentation basically introduced the glass box, a cloud-native Azure-powered framework that brings real-time transparency, explainable, and control into valuation process. To see why this matters, let's start with the current landscape. So the challenge, today's valuation control environment is constrained by architecture, heavily reliance on the spreadsheets, T plus one data processing, and siloed data systems. These are fundamentally non-cloud native patterns. So while systems generate outputs, they lack real-time visibility, integration, and traceability. And when systems are not real-time or integrated, the impact because which becomes significant. Moving to this regulatory and the operational pressure, like cost of opacity is rising. This creates a sort of pressure across multiple dimensions. The IPv process requires scalable validations, but manual workflow doesn't, scale or explain. The requirements of PNL commentary must be systematic and defensible, not ad hoc narratives assembled under the time pressures. So these are something a challenging environment I've seen, and I've been working for almost 7 years now. So with this being in the challenge, I want to introduce this glass box, a new uh, uh, plagiarism for paradigm for validation and governance. So this particular framework addressed this by redesigning the valuation control as a real-time transparency systems built on Azure instead of black box. Every number become traceable, explainable, and auditable. This enables through unified data, real-time analytics, and automated analytics and embedded valuation, all powered by scalable and it's a Azure uh, architecture. So this particular, consolidated SQL-based data foundation is like a single source of truth where you can trade, capture independent market data, and also it will give you integrations of trade data, market data, model outputs into a single governized layers. These key capabilities by enabling by Azure, where it centralized the data storage process and also built-in data lineage and governance, and also time-based data versioning. This ensure a kind of a single source of truth with a full traceability. So once the data has been unified, Azure allows us to process and analyze the real time, where we can see a PNL attributions and the analytics using a scalable compute on Azure. We run a Python-based attributions engines. This decompose a P&L into market impact, trade impact, model impact, and residuals. Because of the Azure compute flexibility, this can run at scale across large portfolios with a minimal latency. So the P&L move from manual explanation to automated real-time insights. And also, once we explain the P&L, the next step is to validating the valuation at a scale. Coming to independent price verification at scale, this is embedded into the system using the Azure data and compute capabilities, where we perform price checks against the external data and proxy validation for illiquid instruments, model calibration testing, where Azure enables this by integrating multiple data source and also scaling validation workloads and maintaining a full audit trials. So validation became continuous and scalable. To support all of this seamless, the platform layer became a critical, where in this platform layer, this is where the Azure become the key enabler. Real-time data pipelines were the continuous injections of the trade and the market data, and the elastic compute like a scalable analytics workloads dynamically, and also it governs the data architecture built-in lineage across access controls and compliance, and also AI ready ecosystems which enables advanced analytics, and also machine learning. So instead of batch based systems, we now operate a real time scalable cloud platform. With this foundation, operational workflow also transforms into this auditable, where the break resolution operational improvements via Azure. I would say it became a real time and also Azure driven pipeline detect issues instantly, and also data lineage allows immediate root cause analysis, and also actions are logged with full auditable trail. This reduces the resolution time significantly and also improves overall control efficiencies, and became everything runs on the structured architecture Azure platforms. It naturally supports advanced intelligence. Coming to the future capabilities, everyone talks about this AI driven capabilities. So this particular platform, using this architecture, using this Azure AI and machine learning capabilities, we extended the framework to further like detection, identifying unusual PNL patterns, and automated commentary, generating explanation using NLP, and also predictive analytics, anticipating a risk before they occur. This shifts control from reactive monitoring to a proactive and data-driven decision making. And importantly, all of this aligns with the regulatory requirements. Because of this trading systems, because of this large institutional banks, the regulation requirements are very much important to follow. So that's been covered in this. Coming to the regulatory alignment, the framework supports FRTB for the P&L attribution, and also IFRS 13 AC 820 for the fair valuation, and the model risk governance framework. These are very much important for all the institutional banks to follow any sort of T plus one data validations, any sort of P&L attributions. So these are all covered in this particular glass box Azure architecture, and this leads to a broader business impact. So the impact when I talk about as a control of competitive advantage with the Azure enabled architecture, real-time processing replace a T plus one delays, and also automations reduce a manual efforts, and also full lineage improves audit readiness. This leads to faster resolution, better transparency, and scalable operations. So the controls evolves for the constraints to strategical capabilities powered by the cloud infrastructure. So I would say to summarize this particular glass box deliverables, which are powered by the Azure deliverables, unified and the governance data, these are the key takeaways like a real-time P&L attributions and scalable validation processes and the AI-ready foundation. Finally, the transparency is not a feature; it's an architecture. From my knowledge, from my experience, the cloud native design makes every valuation, the PNL move, and the model assumption traceability by the design. Give a controllers, regulators, and the business to speed the confidence to act on rather than reconcile it. The glass box is not a reporting tool; it's a governance foundations. When the architecture is transparent, controls become capability and not consistent. So finally, I do have folks to refer to this one of the research papers which I have made for this particular thing, which give a detailed understanding at the architecture level of design, which are added in this PPT slides to go through what exactly this particular framework talks about, how to build this framework if someone is looking for an industrial experience to go over and build something in their systems, in their internal platforms for the company or the external platforms, if they want to work on anything real-time data whenever they perform this kind of trading portfolios. So it does cover entire architecture level and also abstracts, and it also has a what exactly this particular paper talks about, and also it does give a design level review in this particular paper. So I highly recommend to folks to review and propose any sort of suggestions for this particular paper. So it does also have a schema, architecture framework schema, and implementation results, and what are the analysis made for this one, and how it would be impacting the quantitative impact on the risk reduction metrics, and also what gains would be happening from this glass box framework. And it has been written with a kind of case studies of validations of break deductions and the resolutions, which can be further dive deep into to know more about what exactly this glass box will help the company's portfolios to maintain and build with the real-time data. And also it talks about the AI integration, how it's been integrated with this glass box architecture. So I highly recommend anyone is interested into reading this particular paper and provide their suggestions would be helpful. That's all.
That's great. Thanks very much.
No,
That was great presentation. If you want to share the link with me in the private chat there, and I can post it on the LinkedIn if anybody wants to see the literature there that you shared.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't have any questions in the chat, but if any of our guests have any questions there.
We can't hear you, Dan, if you're speaking.
Dan, you're on mute there, I'd say.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have? Can I quickly do the presentation, like the demo for last week?
Oh yeah. Do you want to share your screen there, Stavridis?
Yes. 1 second. Let me. Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen now. Share screen. Okay, I think I can. Yeah. So can you see my screen?
Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you. So I just want to complete because last week, what happened was, I was talking about configuring the SS PR, which I made mention of it, but what demo wasn't really giving me what I wanted. So that was because I don't know, for some reason it was just on checking, just on doing back these settings I saved. So let me go back to, so I'll go to identity, which is the Entra ID. So on the Entra ID environment, like which I explained last week, I talk about you come to your password reset. So where you come up here, so which I actually did this. So this group was not populating that last week. So after the section, I went to check. I saw that it wasn't, for some reason I see it wasn't working. So that was why I wasn't getting that answer. So now, so this is the group of, I think I've tested. So let me go back and check for the user in that group. I think I use one particular user. 1 second. So I'll go back to group. Oh, sorry. Group active group. No. I just want to check the user I can use it. So yeah, so this is it. So I think I got, yeah, so I have this user. So I'm going to use this particular user here. Before that, I'm just going to reset. Let me reset the password of that user. So 1 second. I'll just reset the password. I'm not sure I still have that password I reset last week. So let me just reset the password of this user and then check automatic. No required to change password. So that's the particular user we use. 1 second. Copy the email. All right, so I'm just going to open my incognito mode here. And then can you see my screen? Office.com.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to be sure. So here I will zoom. So here, so I need to register that particular user. So we need to do the registration signing, which is I'll come up here with the link. Let's copy the link here. So I'll do the setup here. So that is the setup, the SSPR setup stuff. I'm going to be using that particular user. Here, I'll come up here, put in the email of that user. Okay, next. And then here, I'm going to use the password. The password I reset. Sign in. I think I've set up the authenticator for that before. So here, I'll put the matching number here.
We might be seeing a different screen now. Active users.
Okay. Can you see? What can you see now?
Active users.
No. I think it's showing a different. I don't know. Do I share entire screen or stuff?
Share the entire screen, yeah.
Okay. Maybe that will be helpful. So I'm just gonna come up here. Share entire screen. Okay, I think I've done share entire screen now. So
yeah.
So can you see my screen now? Yeah.
Best IT firm company, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So here, so what I'm just trying to do now, like let me just, for those who were not here last week. So what I'm trying to do now is, because when you come to the service password, we want the user to be able to reset their password without the help of the help desk or service IT guys. Okay, so here we came up here under the authentication method. Here I did come up here and choose the number of authentication and then the number of questions to register. Here we come up here, we set up this, and then the number of security questions. Like I said, this one security question here, this one will be retired by March 2027. So that we're going to be retired. And then we came to registration here. Here we said yes, users must register. So that is what I'm trying to do now before they can be able to set up before they can reset their password themselves if by eventually they need to. Okay, so that's what I'm just trying to do from the settings we actually made here. And then so that's what I'm trying to do now. So here, so come up here, I'll now come up here, activate that. So from here, it should bring me, yeah. So here is not asking you to now put in, come up here, choose your states, come up here, choose the country. So I'm based in United Kingdom. So I'll come up here, I'll choose United Kingdom, and then put a phone number which they are going to receive the OTP. Let me just put the phone number. So here, come up, you're going to receive a code to connect. So the code should come to my mobile phone, and then come up here and then put that number there, 4194701. So, and then click on next. Now that has been added. Now click on done. Then here, now this is the security question that was added. If you look at from where we talked about it here, where you have the registration, where you come up your authentication, you know, we choose security question. So this is, so that needs to be set up. That's what we are trying to say. Instead, choose a question. So you can come up here in what city do you here, and then give it my answer. I can come up here. This content. Okay, so let me just put, yeah, another question. Come up here. Okay. Okay, so once you do that, and then you click on your next, so this is what they have to do first before they can use that particular service. Okay, so that has been done. Security question is done, so everything is added, is complete, and then you click on your done. So click on done, and then you can able to now sign into your account. Okay, so now they can sign into the account with the password they have initially. But if you come up here, you can see here we have change password. Okay, so change password assume that they just needed to change their password, and which this one might require you to put your old password, and then before you can now change your password that you need to change. But that is not the case we want to do. So this one we want to be able to, let's say they've forgotten their password. So now I'll come up here, and then I will sign out of this account. I'll sign out completely, and then let me just close that. Sign out completely. Then here, let's assume I want to log in office.com, or let me put m365 m365.com. Now I come up here, sign in. Now they are trying to sign in. Now you've put your email address, and then you cannot remember your password any longer. Oh, why is it? Oh, sorry, I think it's still need to sign out completely. Sorry. Sign out. Okay, I think the best thing I would do is come up here. Let me close that one so it doesn't pick it up again. So I'll open another incognito mode, and then type my M365. Come, so click on sign in. Then come up here, you put your email address. Now you want to sign in, and now you cannot remember your password. So all you have to do is click on forget password. But before you can do that, so this SSPR must be configured, which is what we did the last time. So we configure it. Now they've registered and everything. The setup has been done successfully. So they should be able to reset their password. If you click on forget password here, now you come up here. Now this is the particular user. Remember that I didn't use the whole users in my tenant. I just some selected users. So I will refresh. I can see this thing properly. Okay, so I'll come up here, enter that particular SWDX, and then click on next. So once you click on next, the next thing it should be asking you to come up here, provide your number. So that number that ends with this particular, so that's the number we actually register. So this will identify that you are actually the one that is trying to reset your password and not that someone else is trying to reset the password. So once you put that full number, you should receive next, you should receive a code, verification code. This is just to verify who you are. 044146, and I'll click on next. So thereafter, now you can come up here. You can see here now you have to answer this security question. So you answer it. I think here I put London. So it's quite very important. You have to remember it here. Which city did you? I think I put USA. And then yeah, what's your favorite food here? I think I put rice. So once you pass all these questions, this security question asking you, then it should take you to where you can now reset your password. So can you see that here it's saying enter new password? Okay, so this simply means that the SSPR, which is the self-service password we configure, was successful. So here users can now reset their password without contacting the help desk. This will reduce the bottleneck. It will reduce the stress on the help desk so that they can actually be productive with some other things. So here I'm just going to come up here. Let me just create a password and make sure that was successful. 1 second. So here, put password, yeah, strong, confirm, and then click on finish. Unfortunately, your password contains a word or phrase, blah, blah. Started. Okay, let me do for another password. So here you come up here, put that. I think it should allow me this time around. Okay, so can you see that now? So your password has been reset. So which means that we have successfully reset our password without the help of the service desk. But if this particular self-service is not being configured, you might have to start calling the help desk and start resetting the password for us. Okay, and then if you click on here, and then that should come up here. Here you should come up here and then put in their email address, and then you should be able to log in successfully. So come up here. Next. I'll come up here, put in the password, change, and sign in. So, and then you should get your authenticator. So this is how you can configure the self-service password, and then users can be able to sign. But remember that this is the cloud. This is users that are based in the cloud. Like I said, today I've done the from the on-prem, but I think I have to configure my environment so that, because it takes time to sync. So by next week, I'm going to be doing how you can sync users. Like I have this is my on-prem environment here. If you come up here, I have users in my on-prem environment. Now, this user I have in my on-prem environment is synced to my cloud, is synced to the cloud. Yeah, so these are the users I have in the on-prem environment, which is actually synced to the cloud. If you look at this other person, this is Kate Johnson, is synced to the cloud, which I actually use the Azure AD Connect, okay, which is no, it's not, it's called the Entra ID Connect. So you can come up here, if you open this one, this will now sync those users to the cloud. But this time around, when you sync a user to the cloud, now when they get to the cloud, can they now reset their password from the cloud environment and then use that same password to log into the on-prem? Or if they change their password on the on-prem, can they use that same password to log in to the cloud environment? That is when you now need to configure the password right back, which is you have to come up here, also configure the password right back, and then here too you have to come here where you have on-prem integration, and then this option has to be enabled, and then some other settings that you need to configure so that when this user, like the user here, okay, I think I have one of, let me go back to my user. Let me come up and search for user. So one of the user I have from the on-prem, which is Kate, this particular user here. Now, once I do that, this particular user should now be able to reset their password here. But if they come up here, click on reset password, this will not have any effect. Or that it will not have any effect. Why? Because the password right back has not yet been configured. So that has to be configured properly. So where this user that is coming from cloud, once they reset their password, so it's user coming from the on-prem, once they reset their password in the cloud, they can use that same password to log into their machine on-prem, or also so that has to be needs to be configured properly, and then user can now log in, use it effective. So it's quite different from the one I just did. So maybe by next week, I think I should be able to quickly do demo on that, on how to configure your password right back. Okay, so I think that is all for now.
Okay, thank you, Stephen. Anybody, any questions for Stephen on that? Okay, great presentation, Stephen. Shabal, can you hear me there?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Your name properly?
Can you hear me well?
Yeah, can hear you fine. Do you want to share your screen? Sorry, we're so late. We had a few kind of...
All right, I am going to share my screen.
Yeah, and hit entire screen and then click on the picture of the screen.
Entire screen. Share. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, from monolithical to Mac.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Shebal Maji. I bring close to about 2 decades of experience building large-scale digital commerce systems. Alongside, I am also a doctoral candidate in artificial intelligence and distributed system. I'm going to present the concepts from monolith to Mac maturity model from industry implementation standpoint. Let me start with a simple question. How many of us have really worked on systems that used to feel very easy to change and now feels very risky? Systems today have reached a point where change is no longer simple, and that's what we are going to explore today. Sorry. All right. So when we look at these slides, these are just not categories. This is what we deal with every day. So large catalogs are just not about sizes. They introduce constant updates, new products, regional differences, availability changes. Pricing is no longer is a batch process either. It's reacting in real time to demand, to competition, and to inventory signals. Omni-channel sounds straightforward, but it means that the same systems must support web, mobile, stores, marketplace, all at one place. And then traffic spikes. These don't happen in isolation either. They overlap. And that's the important part. Everything is changing at the same time. So the systems is under pressure, and not just because of scale, but because of coordination. Now, when we look at monoliths, it is important to say this clearly. They are not bad systems. In fact, they are often very effective early on. Everything is in one place, easier to build, easier to understand. But as systems grow, they hit limits. The release bottlenecks show up. Every change carries risk, and teams slow down often. Then scaling becomes inefficient. We scale everything, and even when only one part needs it, and then fragility appears. A failure in one area starts affecting others, and that's when we realize the system is no longer helping us move faster. So we move towards models like Mac. Instead of definitions, let's make this a little practical. Microservices, where we are breaking the systems into smaller pieces so change is isolated. APIs, we define clear contracts so services don't depend on internal behavior. Cloud, we use the infrastructure that adapts to demand. And headless, we separate experience from logic. Now, this is powerful, isn't it? But it comes with a shift. We move from one system to many systems that must coordinate. That coordination is where most challenge begins. This is where expectations and reality start to diverge. We adopt modern architecture, but results vary. Why? Most likely because boundaries are not clear all the time. The services are split, but they are still tightly coupled. Tooling improves, but always ways of working don't change. Observability is limited. So issues are harder to diagnose, and sometimes we decompose too early. So instead of simplifying the system, we increase complexity. That's where teams start questioning the approach. With that, instead of focusing on tools, let's take a step back. We'll look at how systems are structured, how they are operated, how teams are aligned, and then bring it together with a maturity model. Now, this model reflects what we typically see in real systems, right? We start with a monolith, then we move into decomposition. This is where many teams are today, and this stage is important because it feels like progress. We have microservices, we are in cloud, but internally teams still feel the friction. They still depend on each other. They still coordinate more than expected. That's because the system is in transition. It is no longer simple, but not yet stable. Then comes stabilization. Boundaries become clearer. Contracts are respected. Observabilities improve. And finally, the platform enables teams. This is where system start working for us. So now that we have looked at the maturity stages, uh, let's focus on what actually moves us forward, and that is where the boundaries come in. Like poor boundaries are the most common reasons distributed systems struggle, not because we chose the wrong tools, but because we split the systems in a wrong way. That's where the domain driven design becomes most useful. It gives us a way to align and basically align the technical structures with the business capabilities, right? Now, first, the bounded context, right? Now, here in bounded context, each domain owns its own data, its own logic, and its contract. That means we don't share data across services casually. We don't let multiple services control the same behavior. Ownership is clear, and that reduces unintended coupling. Um, Second is the anti-corruption layers. Now, these are essential protection boundaries. When one domain interacts with another, we don't allow direct dependencies on internal models. We translate, we isolate, we protect the domain from external changes. Without this change, changes in one domain start leaking into others, and over time, the system becomes tightly coupled again. Third is the team alignment. This is where the Conway's law comes in. Systems tend to reflect how teams are structured. If teams are not aligned with the domain boundaries, the system will show that misalignment. We'll see shared ownership, and which leads to cross-team dependencies, which further leads to slower delivery. So boundaries are not just a technical decision; they are a combination of design, ownership, and team structure. When all these are aligned together, systems definitely become easier to change, easier to scale, and easier to operate. And when they are not, we end up with distributed systems that behave like monoliths. Now that we have defined boundaries, the next question is, how do these boundaries interact? And that's where API contracts come in. In a Mac system, APIs are not just technical interfaces, they are the product. They define how services communicate, how they evolve, and how teams depend on each other. Now, let's connect this to the idea on the slide. Uh, the contract imperative. Now, without enforced contract, service independence becomes a true illusion. What does that mean in practice, though? I mean, it means that teams start depending on the behavior that is not explicitly defined. They rely on assumptions, they rely on internal data structures, and on side effects. And over time, these assumptions become hidden dependencies. So even though services are separate, they are still tightly coupled. That's when change becomes dangerous again, because a small change in one service can break another in unexpected ways. Strong API contracts prevents this. They force us to define interactions clearly. They make dependencies visible, and then they allow services to evolve independently. Another important point here, contracts are not just about the structure, they're also about the discipline. And when you talk discipline, couple of things must be adhered to. One is versioning, second being the backward compatibility, and then, of course, a clear ownership. Now, these are what make contracts reliable over time. So when we say APIs are contracts, we are really saying they are the mechanisms that protects independence in a distributed system. Now that we have talked about systems design, let's move to how they are actually run. Because building a distributed system is one part, operating it reliably is another. Right? In a monolith, we can often see what's happening. In a distributed system, that visibility disappears. So observability becomes the backbone of the operations. The metrics and SLOs being the first, they are just not technical measurements. In effect, they need to reflect the business outcomes at the same time. Um, as when it comes to uptimes, things like response time, success rates, and user experiences, because ultimately the system exists to serve those outcomes. The second is the distributed tracing. This is where we start seeing the system end to end. A single request might pass through multiple services. Without tracing, we don't know where the time is being spent. We don't know where delays begin. With tracing, we can follow the path of a request and isolate exactly where the issue is. And the third is centralized logging. Logs by themselves are not enough, right? Because with the huge scale, logs become a huge clutter over time. So they need to be structured, they need to be aggregated, and they must be searchable. So when something goes wrong, we can quickly reconstruct what happened. Right? Now, here's the key idea. Without observability, we are operating the systems blindly. Right? We might have the right architecture, we might have a well-defined service, but we cannot trust the systems because we cannot see it. And in systems that include AI-driven decisions, this becomes even more important, because now we are not just debugging failures, we are trying to understand behavior. So observability is not an add-on, it is what makes the distributed systems operable at scale. We talked about system design. Let's talk and operating the system too. So now let's answer the next question: how do we make this sustainable at scale? Right? Because at this stage, something very predictable starts happening. Different teams begin solving the same problem again and again, and that's a very common challenge. such as how to deploy, how to monitor, how to scale, how to secure services. That repetition creates friction and over time inconsistency. This is where platform engineering comes in. Platform engineering shifts us from reacting to infrastructure needs to proactively providing capabilities. Now let's connect this directly to what's on the slide, right? Um, I mentioned self-service infrastructure, which essentially means that teams should not be waiting for manual setup or approvals. They should be able to provision what they need through control and well-defined paths, paved path defaults. We don't leave every decision open, right? We define the best way to build and deploy systems and make the easiest path to follow, which takes us to the next, which is reduced cognitive load. Teams don't need to think about everything. They can focus on the business logic while the platform handles common concerns. And that leads to accelerated delivery, not because teams are rushing, but because friction is removed. So the platform engineering is not just about tools, it is about creating an environment where teams can move consistently and with confidence. Now, let's take a step back for a moment. Everything we have discussed so far, architecture, boundaries, observability, platform engineering, assume something very important, that teams are aligned. And that is where organizational alignment becomes critical. There's a simple idea here: architecture follows organization. If the way we structure teams doesn't match how we structure systems, the systems will reflect that misalignment. Platform teams set the capability roadmap, they define standards, guardrails, and shared services. Product teams consume those capabilities, they build features and deliver business value. But the key is how these two groups interact. If the platform teams build in isolation, their capabilities won't be used effectively. If product team bypass the platform, we end up with fragmentation and duplicated effort. That's where misalignment starts creating platform depth. So this is not just about structure, it's about alignment in execution, shared goals, shared ownership, continuous feedback. So the organization alignment is not a side concern. It is a core dependency for making Mac work in practice. Now that we have looked at architecture, operations, and alignment, the final question is how do we actually move forward? Because this is where many transformation efforts struggle. There is a natural tendency to think in terms of big change, like rewrite everything, rebuild the platform, or let's start fresh. In practice, that introduces risk and delays value. That's why this model focuses on incremental modernization. First, we assess. We start by understanding the system. Where are the boundaries unclear? Where is coupling highest? We need to see the system as it really is and how we think it is. Next, isolate. We don't break everything at once. We extract specific context using approaches like the strangler pattern. We separate carefully and not aggressively. Then stabilize. This is where discipline comes in. We enforce API contracts, we introduce observability, we make the systems reliable before moving further, and finally evolve. We build platform capabilities, we continue improving the systems over time. Now here's the important point: each of these stages delivers value on its own. We don't wait for the final stage to see benefits, and that changes how teams experience transformation. Instead of risk and uncertainty, we get steady progress and growing confidence. So this is not a one-time migration, it is a continuous process for movement guided by structure and discipline. Now let's bring all of these together. We have covered a lot, and how systems evolve, to how they are designed, to how they operated and align. Now let's ground that into a few key takeaways. First, diagnose before we decompose. It is tempting to start breaking systems apart immediately, but without understanding where the real constraints are, we risk moving complexity instead of reducing it. So we start by observing the system. Where is coupling the highest? Where are the teams slowing down? That diagnosis is what guides the next step. Second, boundaries are non-negotiable. Everything we have discussed, microservices, APIs, platform engineering, depends on getting boundaries right. If boundaries are unclear, the system becomes tightly coupled again, and even if it is distributed, it is tight. The third being observability enables autonomy. Now, teams cannot own what they cannot see. Without visibility, we depend on coordination and guesswork. With observability, teams can understand behavior and act independently with confidence. And finally, platform engineering sustains the velocity. It removes the repeated effort, standardizes how things are done, and allows team to move faster without increasing risks. So if we step back, this is not about adopting a specific architecture. It's about building systems that can evolve and organizations that can support that evaluation. And that requires discipline across design, operations, and alignment. Before we wrap up, let's step back for a moment. Systems naturally grow in complexity over time. That's not something we can avoid. As requirements grow, as scale increases, as more capabilities are added, complexity is inevitable. So the goal is not to eliminate complexity. The goal is to manage it, and how we have talked about today. Boundaries, contracts, observability, platform thinking, alignment. These are the tools that help us do that. When these come together, systems become easier to change, teams move faster, and the platform supports growth instead of limiting it. And when they don't, we start seeing friction, slowdowns, and systems that resist change. So the real question is not whether systems will become complex. They will. The question is whether that complexity is working for us or against us. Thank you for your time, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Okay, great presentation there. We don't have any questions coming in on the chat, but anybody, any questions there, Stephen?
No, I think that was a great presentation. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I think maybe let me ask. So when you talk about complexity, yeah. So does it the complexity, does it like affect the end users, or is it affecting the admins in that regard? So who is going to, because because I know some organization will tell you that, oh, don't make things too complex, especially when they have like VIP users. They want them to be able to have things work seamlessly, but at the same time, it can be a security breach to the organization. But some company will say, "Oh no, this is what we want." So you, as the admin or security, from the security perspective, you need to like, okay, tell them, okay, this, and that. So is it from the end user or from the admin?
I mean, first of all, this is a great question, right? And the complexity can arrive at multiple facets in this case, right? It is a complexity for the end user because they are the ultimate consumers. But from a systemic standpoint, and when we are breaking down the systems, right, the business is running, right? And we cannot be disrupting the business. So in terms of making, first of all, when we rip off, right, we'll have to take the incremental changes. Now, if we do not take incremental changes, we land the risk of disrupting multiple things at a time. For example, I incrementally take the work of upgrading the catalog first, okay, then take on the risk of upgrading or breaking down from monolith to a distributed systems for the accounts wherein the users logs in, and then probably take out the other parts of the system. Now the complexity arises in this fashion. Breaking down in this is how do you make sure that the business continuity is still there while you are breaking the systems. That's one part to it. The other part of it, how do these separate services team operate in a cohesive manner so that there are not internal conflicts. And which is why I was mentioning about the system, the platform engineering team, right? The platform engineering team takes care of the platform related details, while the teams focused on the specific services build the capabilities, totally focus on those capabilities. So that's one of the complexities that I was talking about in terms of building the systems. But then you alluded to an important point in terms of the end users also. Now, the end users could be the users such as the guests who are actually getting value out of it, and then there could be the administrators who are using the system to provide guests, which are working as a middleman, right? So I think complexity is there in every areas, but then when you break into smaller pieces with clearly defined boundaries, the timeline can be mapped well, and then the complexity can be reduced in terms of not having any conflicts between each other.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. That's good. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
How you doing, Sanjay? Can you hear me?
Frank, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
We're in another browser. It was a browser thing.
Okay.
I love your background. It's busy.
That's the IT crowd.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're kind of gone way over time this week. I'm not sure. Was your timing was different in different countries or something? But we were kind of up on the wars. I know Sanjay, you joined us fairly late. Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm not too sure. But Stephen, you'll be back next week with some more stuff on the
yeah. So next week I'll be talking about the password right back from on-prem to the cloud. Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So guys, thanks very much for joining us. We'll be back here again next week, and if anybody is looking to speak again in the future, you have access to the Excel sheet. And if you see any free slots and if you have time, we'd love to have you back. So thanks everyone. We'll be back again next week.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay. Cheers.
Thank you.